Welcome to the latest episode of Templar Talks. We're dropping the Beyond Universes because, you know, the team are just here every month now. I'm Stephen, of course. I'm joined by my regular host, Todd Doe.
Hello.
And today we have two of the team have showed up. There were many rumours that it was only Ed left, but Michael has joined us today.
Good morning.
And of course Ed is still here.
Hello.
He actually lives here now. So
I do.
that's all good. As we mentioned on the last episode, we're kind of inviting people from the team to kind of run the topic. Michael has very much kept us in the dark this week on the topic, so we're gonna have the big reveal and all just panic as you know we have no idea as to what's going on. But before we do that, obviously exciting week. You're off to the RC on Thursday.
Yeah, leaving on Thursday. Very excited.
Yeah, as this isn't going out till Thursday, I guess we can talk about what deck you're on and it's open deck list anyway, right?
Yeah, it's open. I mean, I've been pretty public on X about my deck choice. Yes, I'm going to be on
Twitter.
You what?
No. I just call it Twitter still. I refuse to call it X. Sure. I just think the name's just so fucking stupid. Like, I'm just like, it's dumb.
I feel like an old man if I call it Twitter, though. I'm like, no, it is X. The kids probably call it that, you know?
That is fair.
I don't know. I guess teenagers aren't even on Twitter, are they? X.
Sorry. Or Fred. Is Fred still going? I don't know.
Fred? What's
Fred's? Yeah. It's Instagram.
I've never even heard of that. That shows how old I am.
Instagram and Facebook's Twitter. They tried to get going. I don't know. But anyway, more on topic. What deck are you playing?
Yeah, so I've been locked in on Leyline, and since the new set came out, Rakdos Leyline is the latest spice. Just 1 mana, draw 4 cards. It's good. It's a good time.
Are you definitely going Rakdos then? You're not going to pivot back to Gold?
I'm just going to bring both with me. I've got. I mean, the differences are very marginal. So yeah.
Sure. No, seems good. Yeah. Seems good. And then I guess. What are we talking about today? That's the next point of...
Yeah, so today's topic is Shag, Marry, Kill.
Cool.
Johnny, Garrick, and Elspeth are we're going to lead off with.
Okay.
Ed, what do you think?
I don't actually even know what Elspeth looks like, if I'm honest. I don't... Right. This is the thing, like, when we always talk about Universes Beyond and rant about, like, Magic IP, I couldn't even tell you what half of them look like. Like, I have no idea what
this is why I know Ajani's a cat.
Ajani, yeah, but that's the thing.
He'll look after you though, so he's a good marry contender.
Thinking about it,
he's a warrior.
I don't know why I know Garrick because I only know Ajani because it's like played in Modern, right? But I don't even.
Garrick's like the big planeswalker, isn't he? From
one of the OG5, yeah.
Yeah, but and like Commander, like everyone loves a Garrick in Commander.
Do they? I don't know.
An like Apex Predator. I feel like he wouldn't respect you.
No.
Yeah, that's fair.
Definitely not a marry choice.
Yeah, probably kill, right? And you'd marry Elspeth. Shag Ajani.
Yeah. No, I think the other way around.
Yeah?
Yeah. You'd marry Ajani?
Yeah, why not? He'll keep you safe.
Yeah. I guess
he's well respected.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Elspeth looks like she likes to control the kitchen. And
stuff. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah. Very proud woman.
I genuinely don't know. Has Elspeth ever been played in Modern for the last, 4 years? Does it get played? I don't think I've ever...
Well, not for a little while, no. She's now in Standard, though, right? Yeah, we've now got the... Ajani's in Modern, Elspeth in Standard.
Elspeth is the bomb, right? The white bomb.
Yeah,
okay. I know that card. Just because I watched Gurney lose an Arena Direct 2 times.
Has he won a box yet?
No. I think he did 15 or 16. But he went even. He kept winning.
I know. He keeps getting the 6 wins and 7 wins.
I was concerned about his health.
Just because of that.
I saw him and he was about to start, and then about 8 hours went past. I get home at gone midnight. He's still exactly doing the same thing where I left him.
Well, I woke up at
respect the grind.
6:30 on Saturday, and it was like James Gurney active 2 hours ago or something, and I was like, "Damn, this guy's in a hole."
He said the set was really good, so
it is a good set. I've played it a lot.
Yeah,
but it's sealed, isn't it?
The Arena Direct was sealed. Yeah.
I enjoyed pre-release. I actually went to pre-release for once, and it was a good time. Like the set did seem quite fun.
Does the Arena Direct have different formats, or is it always sealed?
I'm pretty sure most of the time they're sealed.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's best of one sealed. Every time.
I guess that's a good way to pick up product early. Like crack loads.
Being a bit more pessimistic and down on WotC, I think it's more that they need to have sealed to justify the cost of entry, and then they've done the math on it. But you know what I mean, in terms of the best of one is to not give people as much of an edge, so that they don't get rinsed and players feel like they've got a shot.
That is a pessimist.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you got to think how many people must be pumping it and going like O2. There must be so many people.
Well, I only know Gurney.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, to be fair, Gurney, most people that play a lot are gonna go 5-2, 6-2, and claw some money back. But there must be like a huge number of less enfranchised players that are just like, they do it once, go O2, don't do it again, because there has to be, right?
I'd imagine there's quite an equal percentage of people that do just have an abundance of gems sat there ready to go for it, though.
Yeah, maybe.
Because people that will play limited a lot, you can go positive on gems and just get an abundance of gems, and then when the arena directs come around, you just fire them all into that.
Yeah.
What's the break even 6 wins?
Mm-hmm.
6 wins, yeah. And then the box is 7. Is it normally 7, even if it's not a collector's box?
Yeah.
But so it's not always a collector's box, right? Modern Horizons was just one
MH box.
Yeah.
Then
did they change the price?
No, the standard sets have then been 2 standard boxes, and then this one has been collector's. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Did you see a Maz on X? Did it, and he got like 13.
Yeah, people do.
He's just been running it back all like for the last couple of, I guess, like 2 days. Or
He's a
hours.
huge Hearthstone grinder, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the thing. Like
Hearthstone,
Hearthstone. I don't know.
That hurt me.
Hearthstone. Game's kind of garbage, really.
Disagree.
Nah, it's fine.
It's just Magic with less steps.
Yeah.
That is so untrue.
I like both. It's fine.
I haven't played Hearthstone in a long time, but
it's definitely worth it. That's my go-to digital game.
Just don't know where you guys find the time. If you're going to play Magic all the time, then how do you find time for other games?
When I'm watching TV, you can't really play Magic.
Of course you can. TV. Why can't you? It's the same.
Yeah, I'd argue you could. I don't.
Yeah, but I would rather invest. Like Hearthstone, you don't need to think about as much.
Well, you ain't got to think about Magic. You can just click buttons.
Yeah, but then it's not like I care about Magic, right? I'm competitive about it. Whereas Hearthstone, it's like,
you can half-ass it and not feel bad.
Yeah, like you don't lose anything.
Yeah, but you're just constantly learning a little something.
What, when you're playing Magic?
Yeah.
I've got a I don't
Not
play
if you're not paying
Magic, but
attention.
I've occasionally played TFT while watching TV, and I've got a conspiracy theory that I think they pair more phone players together, because whenever I've played on phone, it's been so much easier to like win games, whereas on the PC, it's like you have to grind out to get top 3, top 2. Whereas when I'm half paying attention, not even looking at comps, just like, oh, that's a good unit, fucking put all my items on it, and like I've won a lot.
See, I find TFT's got too many moving pieces for when I'm watching TV.
Yeah, that's what surprises me, how you can even win. Like, that's what I mean. You're kind of half in, half out,
Like Hearthstone, I make Legend every month just by throwing things out end turn, watch TV, I'll throw units out, attack, end turn. Whereas TFT, it's like, oh.
But that's the same thing with
removal.
TFT, Pokemon, Hearthstone, I guess Lorcana, if there was a digital client. I don't think there is.
Rip.
You
Pixelable.
Pixelable,
dead,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they Papa Disney took it down. But like if you do it so that you just take your turn and then watch TV and take your turn and then watch TV, whereas Magic and Fab and what other games are there? I don't know.
One Piece?
Does that have an online game?
I
don't know. But my point is, if you're playing a game where you have to interact,
Wars,
then
Unlimited.
You're using your rope or timer quite a lot, like in those slight, wasting people's time.
Yeah, if it's like take your turn and then switch off and then you can reassess the board, it's relatively easy. But if it's like interactive, which is why I guess I try to avoid playing Magic while I'm doing anything else, because there's more like nuance.
For sure.
Yeah, TFT and the others, there is that small concentration burst, I feel, and then you're kind of chilling. But yeah, I don't play Magic at all. Like, I don't know. No, online.
I just fucking
he says
like
on
it.
his Magic podcast.
No. So, to specify digitally, I don't get it and I don't like it, and I think it's because I only play card games to be away from the PC. So if I'm like I would rather drive somewhere, play Magic for an hour than play 3 hours on PC, just because I don't know, the online side of it just hasn't ever interested me. And I guess it is just that nostalgia throwback of like wanting to have real cards, and it's not the same. I'm not at the level of Gurney though, where I'm shuffling at the desk and riffling cards, but like if I was playing Magic Arena, I think I'd have to do that because I'd be like, this is so disconnected.
I'm still riffling the poker chips when I'm doing that.
Do you?
I'd take them to work and just sit there and
10,
Yeah.
8,
12.
12. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Two stacks of 6.
Yeah.
I'm 2 stacks of 4.
Oh, I'm always 10. I don't know. Yeah.
Interesting.
But anyway, have we got another topic?
So the next 3. Lilian, no. So I just thought it'd be very on topic today, for me at least, would be to do what people like to do before a tournament. So it could be leading up to the tournament. It can be the night before, the day of, whatever you want. Because I know some people here do some very specific things. And I thought that would be quite interesting. And obviously this can apply to things like RCQs, so little 18-man tournaments, all the way up to like an RC or a GP or whatever, whatever.
Yeah, well, I know Rocco tribes a lot to post-nut clarity. No, I know what you're saying, yeah. Who would like to kick off? What do you do, Stephen?
I mean, I think for RCQs I think for me, everything is fairly similar. Like, I don't do different things dependent on the tournament's sizes. The only caveat to that is I'd probably drink a hell of a lot more water in a 6-round plus tournament. Just I'd be more prepared with like more water on tap, right? Whereas if you're doing RCQs at our local stores, there's plentiful supply of just grab a drink between every round and you're not having to worry about it. But I think that's my main issue or my main point of consideration is just hydration. Because I think when you get to later rounds, you don't need it, but then once you get to later rounds, you do start to get a headache if you haven't chugged water. And I try and get up really early, like probably earlier than I get up for work normally, just to feel like I'm prepared. Like I'm weird in the obviously not tournaments, but even to highlight why I think it's weird, even if I'm going to play badminton or exercise, like play football or something in the morning, I will get up and shower before I go. And that's the same in Magic events. I will always have to like get up early, shower, have coffee, like take my time and feel like I'm ready leaving the door. But beyond that, nothing too major. I'll always do my deck list like before you will. I'll have done my deck list at least the night before, maybe before that. Unless I'm playing a similar list, then I'll like copy paste it over and change a couple of cards. But
yeah. I probably somewhat agree in that I like to get my deck list done way before the tournament,
That's
just
wild.
because.
That's a hot take.
I mean, for me, it's like taken away from the mental stack. So if I'm thinking about my deck list on the day, then I'm not thinking about sequencing my turns or what my opponent's playing or how I'm preparing, and it's just taking as much away from the day, like in terms of preparation. So when it is the day, all I have to focus on is playing the games. Like I'm gonna sit down, get out whatever I need to get out, and then focus on turn by turn interactions or whatever, rather than worrying about what I'm going to be eating, when I'm going to be eating, what I'm going to be drinking, all of the kind of faff that's around the day.
Super hot take, actually. I think personally for me, I would benefit more from having my deck list done the day before than having the edge of sideboard options on the day. Because I think not worrying about it on the day, I would be more mentally prepared anyway than having more flexibility with sideboard slots, personally.
The other kind of like loose, like I don't have like that some people have like routines or, Rocco likes to listen to music between rounds or whatever, or some people like to have a conversation. I think between rounds for me is almost more important than preparation. Like, because that first round... often a hinge point, right? Like where's my tournament going? Am I starting on a loss or am I starting on a win? And like you can kind of snowball a win with positive, like, oh, I'm doing well, I'm going to continue to do well. Whereas if you lose the first round, then it's like, I need to get back on the horse. How am I getting back into a positive mindset to carry on winning the tournament? But I agree. I think stay hydrated. Eat foods that don't activate my digestive system as well, like heavy, greasy foods often make me feel more tired and less sharp with my decision making, so I try and eat like nuts and sultanas and stuff like that. But certainly just get my deck list before.
Weirdly thinking about it now as well, I don't think I eat really at all during a tournament. I'll eat before and then I'll eat after, but I don't tend to eat anything, I don't think, between rounds.
That's crazy. That's basically, I think I eat more at a Magic tournament than I play cards.
Yeah, I don't know. I find I lose focus. With like, I guess maybe if I pre-prep like little snack pots or something, I wouldn't. But like even thinking about what you want to eat or where you're going to get it from or anything like that, I don't know.
I think I'm quite unhinged, and I wouldn't recommend doing it. But I purposefully starve myself on a Magic tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I do it, but not purposefully. But I eat before. Like I'll almost always eat before.
I'll sometimes eat before. I'm never set on it though.
But I guess that my normal routine, like day-to-day life, like at work, I never eat breakfast. So I guess at a Magic tournament, the fact that I've eaten something before is breaking my normal routine anyway. Because I usually have an early lunch at I try and eat something at 11, something again like small at 2, and then have my dinner at like 6, 7. That's like my ideal. Whereas at a Magic tournament, I just eat breakfast, nothing. Eat dinner kind of thing. That's my
normal routine. I won't eat food until like 12 o'clock at the earliest anyway. So for me, it's like just try and keep the day as normal as possible. And then normally you're too involved to go get food, or I don't bring food with me. So I also hate having any downtime. I would rather finish my first round and be straight into the second round. If I've finished the round early or I have an ID or something, I feel like I lose so much focus. And then when I go into the next round, I then feel quite rusty again.
I think there's a happy medium. For me, it's like enough time to go to the bathroom, grab another bottle of water, and then straight back in.
See, I also like feeling the need to go to the bathroom but not being able to go, because I just feel like I'm dialed in. Like I'm just fucking...
All your body senses are going off.
Yeah, like...
You're sitting in a puddle of piss, starving.
I think it's interesting, the routine though. Like I would say that I play better when it's not routine. Right, and that's kind of what you're saying is when you're like on the edge of needing a piss, like it's not a normal feeling, right? You're not like comfortable. So
no, I do get it.
So you're like
you're on edge.
You're thinking about your decisions rather, because there's definitely been situations, especially in testing, right, where it's a comfortable environment.
Yeah.
And you make a play that is just normal sequencing in a game of Magic. But in that specific scenario, it's not the decision you should be making. And in a tournament, you don't want to just be like, I've got 2 mana. I play my 2 mana spell into what's that horrible blue counter spell? You play in
counter spell?
Mana leak.
No, the one spell snare. Right. So you could, for example, I could play 2 1-drops. But I just play my 2 mana spell because I've got 2 mana into a spell snare that I know my opponent's playing and they've got the mana up for it, just because I'm in some kind of routine. Whereas if you're like edging, you're like...
You can't do that at tournaments.
I'm really thinking about...
I genuinely think if someone was stood behind me with a knife across my throat, I think I'd play the best Magic I've ever played, because I'd just be so locked in.
I can do that if you want.
I'm not sure if the judges would approve of that.
I'll wait till I'm out of the event.
I think that's an interesting point though, of when it comes to testing, maybe closer to tournaments when people are actually locked in on decks, rather than just doing testing of running, like how we do with kind of running decks into each other, moving around, so people get that experience of playing against a certain matchup. We just do like some kind of a staked F&M style thing where, the bottom 3 players have to pay for dinner or something like that. So then everyone is fucking locked in because I guess that's the thing as well, right? If you're going into a tournament, you've kind of already put your money where your mouth's at in what your deck selection is. So...
But on the contrast in that as well, I know when my opponent's not locked in, right? It's definitely something that's palpable in gameplay, that when you're playing really tight Magic and your lines are really well considered, and you definitely round 4, you're like, oh, this person's their gas. They're they've lost all focused, they're making silly mistakes, and I can now capitalize on that scenario. And equally in the Flesh and Blood tournament we went to, I knew that I wasn't playing the best Flesh and Blood like round 3, because I was just like, I've lost 2 rounds. I'm not, it's a new game to me. I'm just gonna see what happens in the scenario, but I'm not playing to the best of my ability. I'm half focused, I'm looking at the time. What am I going to have for lunch?
Yeah. Focus is a huge one, and I think it is important to get that focus. And I think that's not to throw excuses at it, but we all said prior to the standard season that like no one really cared, and I think all of it. Like obviously you qualified, and that's great, but I think I'd include you in the us when I say I think we all could have played a hell of a lot fucking better.
Yeah,
because like there were so many tournaments where it's just like, I just don't care. I've made the top 4. I don't really want to have to make the decision as to if I go or not. I'd rather go out here and get some good pricing, which is the wrong attitude. But I think that side of being locked in and actually wanting it is definitely a factor, because I think that helped as well. When we went to Prague and I did the LCQs, even though I had a lack of sleep, I still got up early, still did the usual breakfast, no food, and I was just like, well, I'm here, so I've got to win, right? So you just lock in more. Whereas I think when I did the LCQs, where was it, in Lille? Was it Lille?
Yeah, probably.
I had no interest at all. I honestly didn't want to be there. I hated the format. Like, it was Pioneer. I hadn't played Pioneer. I wasn't even bothered about it. So it's just like, I've got the package. I'm here for like a bit of a holiday. Like, you're not thinking the same way, and you make a lot more mistakes as well. Playing like that, I think.
I think it's important in these tournaments are a marathon as well, right? If you're planning on day 2ing, doing what?
I feel this
rounds.
is potentially the one topic that we could have had a producer James actually weighing in on, because shout out, he is running the London Marathon on Sunday, and he basically just runs. I think he's running from something, if I'm honest, with the amount of miles he gets in. But yeah, sorry to drag you into.
I knew mentioning marathon would trigger some conversation about producer James.
Yeah. I mean, what was it you were saying the other? How many miles a week are you running? Like last week and this week, as you've eased down?
It was 58 miles last week.
Like, it's just fucking mental. 58 miles for because I know you're off mic, but that's crazy.
Was down from 85 average.
85 average. It's just unhinged.
Miles,
that's over 10 miles a day.
Yeah.
Like, that's 11 miles a day, right? Like,
I wasn't running every day. I was running 6 days a week, but there was 2 days where it was like 20 plus miles.
Yeah. Well, I remember. Again, this is so off topic, but when I was at the Trouse 10K, I was like, "Oh, is James not deciding to run this?" And they're like, "Oh no, he's running a marathon." Effectively, like you did, like the same mileage as a marathon, right? Or like close to
24 miles, so only 2 miles shorter.
Like, and it's just like, yeah, he's just off doing that on a casual Saturday morning. It's just mental. But yeah, anyway, Michael, how do you prepare? You're pretty close to the wire, I feel, in terms of deck preparation.
Yeah. So, I was thinking about this quite a lot because I don't drink coffee, and I know first thing in the morning you two do.
Todd doesn't.
No, I'm off caffeine.
Todd's been off caffeine for about half a year. Yeah. A long time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I always think like you two go to Starbucks together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
You just get caffeine free.
I used to drink coffee, but then I had high blood pressure, so now I don't drink coffee. I still go to Starbucks. I just don't get caffeine.
Okay, because I can't stand coffee, and I always think that like if you have caffeine, do you crash? As someone that doesn't drink any caffeine in their normal like life, I'm just like, I can't touch coffee.
Do you not drink energy drinks?
Like very rarely.
Or soda, because a lot of soda has it, and like Coke Zero has a lot of caffeine.
I don't tend to drink much fizzy either. I try not to.
I mean, you do crash. That's a given. But which is what I was saying about it being a marathon. You obviously can't say hyper focused for 15 rounds or 8 or 9 in one day, right? You just can't. So you have to have something where you're like, this is how I trigger hyperfocus, and this is how I take a break in between rounds from that hyperfocus. Otherwise, you do like 6 rounds hyperfocused, and the last 3 rounds you're just a wreck. Do you know what I mean?
I top up with espresso personally.
I know caffeine is like the easiest way to like drip feed yourself some form of like stimulant to.
Is there not like an end point? Like if you have a coffee at say 7:30, if it gets to like 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and can you just keep drinking caffeine and it'll keep going, or does it eventually just be like, nah, it doesn't work?
Well,
anymore?
so I may be talking a little too much about my personal life on a recorded podcast, but there was a point where I wanted to play more football, play more video games, and I was working my last job where the hours were a lot weirder. So I wanted to go down on sleep, like as much as I physically could. I was like, how little can I sleep and maintain this? And I think at one point, so I got like quite a large cafetiere, and I'd make, a jug of coffee, and I think I'd have 7 to 8 like coffees a day. And I got my sleep down to like 4.5-ish hours a night regularly. And I was okay for like 2 to 3 weeks, and then I was like shaking. So there's a limit in that you shouldn't do it, but I think as one-off days, as long as you're going to sleep within a 20-hour period, you can probably rinse caffeine pretty hard without any like detrimental. Maybe there is a detrimental effect, but like in terms of as long as you're not doing it all the time, I've found it's not that bad. So I will, if we're at an RC situation or a Mega Modern situation, I will usually own. Mega Modern's a bit different. I'd usually have a coffee. Say the tournament starts at 10. I'd usually have a coffee at like 8:30, 9, somewhere around there, and then I'd try and get a coffee somewhere after like round 4. If you make the top 8, maybe you'd grab like another coffee before the top 8. But like four rounds is like my break point of concentration dipping, like after 3-4 hours. At an RCQ.
That's why I'm like on the edge of needing a shit then.
Yeah.
It's like I've fucking dialed in now. This will keep me alert.
Yeah. That's different strokes for different.
I mean, both of these strategies are definitely unhealthy. Just a caveat.
No. Actually, to accurately caveat, none of this is health advice. Like, you do consult your
even Magic
physician.
and play Magic. Like none of this is good life advice.
Yeah. But no. So at an RCQ, I'd normally have a coffee like on the way, and then a coffee maybe after like round 3 if of ID, just to keep me a bit awake going into the top 8. But yeah, every like 4 hours. I don't know.
You tried some like lion manes roots?
Oh yeah, lion's mane. Yeah.
I mean, was that like you experimented with that? Was it something that you wanted to do again?
So short term for that tournament, it didn't really. I didn't notice any effects, but I continued to take it afterwards, and it wasn't until my other half pointed out that I was remembering things that I don't normally remember. She was like, how are you remembering these things? I've been with you for like 7 years. You don't remember anything. And I was like, oh shit. Like, do you remember what we did Thursday? And I'm like, yeah.
See, I guess the reason because I'm always interested in like supplements and stuff like that, but I've never bothered with Magic because I've like memory wise, I've never thought I need to improve my memory. Like I can, when I'm the opposite in my relationship with my wife, like she'd always be the one to be like, oh, where were we last week? And I'd be like, there. Do you know what I mean? Like for me, I've always had pretty good.
But is that you actually remembering, or is it you just having a calendar?
You just pull up your
I can tell you the badminton points results of 2 leagues ago of how I did against each other. Like I don't know, maybe it's certain things like.
But I think that's also partly what like you attribute, like you're interested in that. Like
yeah, sure.
I remember things I'm interested in. I don't. Are you
suggesting that when your other half talks, you're not interested?
Not at all. No, she doesn't watch this. It's fine. But yeah, I think it's interesting supplements, like as a way of kind of enhancing your personal ability.
Yeah,
Did you go further into that?
So I didn't take the lion's mane supplement for improved memory. It's supposed to have like improved concentration and things.
Sure.
But because it improved my memory, I still take it now. Yeah. Just as like general like life, I just find it just like makes my life a little bit better. But I mean, like other than that, like caffeine was another one that I was thinking about. Yeah, and the other thing that I think I overthink this, but in the mornings I've always been like, okay, I'm not touching caffeine because I don't drink caffeine normally, so I don't want to like fuck with this on my day. But like I'll have a hot chocolate, and then I'm like, isn't like a quarter of a hot chocolate just sugar? And then I'm like,
I was going to say that feels like a pretty bad. Yeah.
But then as soon as we get to like a Starbucks or something, I'm like, oh, it's the only drink I'll get from a Starbucks. I'm like, I do love a good hot chocolate.
Have you, like, again, not encouraging caffeine use because you could even have a decaf, but have you tried like iced lattes with syrups?
Nah, if it tastes anything like coffee, I'm out. Like
a lot of them are pretty, like, you got to think with an iced latte, you're talking like 70 milliliters of coffee to like 400 milliliters of milk and syrups. And
is it mostly milk?
Yeah. Like, right, it's very... There's not much.
Oh yeah, I mean, lattes, just espresso shots. But I think if you haven't had coffee, like it can wire you in an unhealthy way, right? Like if it's a spike of, it definitely has reduced effect over days. But also, is that something you're considering for the RC then? Are you trying to find what's your normal experience in a tournament? Do you flag at any point during a tournament?
So I think that, first of all, it depends on who I'm staying with, right? So if I stay with Dan, I'm up at fucking 5:30 because some cunts put their kettle on. Ironically, he does like to point out the fact that that's been my best results is when he's woken me up at like 5. And then like, yeah, I normally bring my bag. Like there'll be a tiny little deck box and then the rest of my backpack is just food. And then I'm just eating all day. And then I find that I don't really crash. But I know that if I had a coffee or something, I would probably have a boost. Yeah. But I've just never done it because I just don't like coffee.
Just to go back to the marathon side of it, and I know you don't have a mic. Fuck, we should have actually set this up. But are you on caffeine? Don't worry about it. Just shout. It's fine. Here he is, the face reveal of producer James.
Yeah. So. In terms of caffeine, it is something that we do use in marathon running. So in the morning, I will have a coffee. And to be perfectly frank, the one thing that does is clear you out. So you're not going to pull the Radcliffe at the side of the road.
You're supposed to hold on.
Yeah. But as you said, it is a legal performance enhancer. It's one of the only ones that you have in sport that you can use. That and nicotine, which a lot of Premier League footballers do.
Oh yeah, that is a big one.
So caffeine, what we tend to do is we'll have energy gels. So it's gels of sugary, carby things, and you can get special ones with caffeine in. So my personal strategy is halfway through, I'll have 100 milligrams of caffeine. I'll have a coffee in the morning. I'll have one of those caffeinated energy gels before, just to sharp me up and make sure I'm feeling good for the race. And then halfway through, when you're starting to feel it, you have another sort of mental boost and you can focus, and it is something that is going to help push you further.
Interesting. Is it like something that, is it like, do some people not touch it, some people touch it? Is it like a debate within?
It depends. In the case of, I think everyone accepts that it is something that will help you. It will give you more energy. It will give you more focus. The thing that we have a problem with, which you might if you're not used to taking caffeine, is whether your stomach can handle it. Again, going back to the Paula Radcliffe mention, you don't want to be throwing up, shitting yourself at the side of the road.
Nice.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
When you say 100 milligrams, like what is
how much is in an espresso?
Less than that.
Okay, sure.
So it's more than an espresso. Okay,
Yeah.
that's wild.
I just numbers wise, I think 100 milligrams is a lot of caffeine.
I don't think it's that much, is it?
It's definitely more than an espresso.
Can you search up Starbucks menu? I love having someone on hand with a fucking laptop. It's great. And
this is going very Joe Rogan-esque. Play the video.
The bear fighting the MMA fighter or something. Yeah.
Oh, dear. But yeah, like I thought it was more. Like I thought like a large Red Bull was like 200-300 milligrams.
That's what I was thinking. Like, what's an energy drink?
Just like an espresso at start.
Espresso is 70 to 75 milligrams.
Okay, so you're like normally you'd get a double espresso in a latte. Or actually, no, in my order I get 4. So I'm on 300.
Also,
milligrams.
having an energy gel is going to be
that's concentrated.
There's no milk helping it go down. Like if you're burning actual energy in a race, that's just going to go straight into your bloodstream, right? There's no digestion issues, and that's another thing, right? If something's hard to digest, like the reason that you maybe don't want a latte at the middle of a tournament is because that's a hell of a lot of milk, right? Whatever it is, oat milk, cow's milk, that your body has to deal with, which means you've got less blood flow and focus going to the brain because it's all dealing with your digestion, which is why you probably have nuts and raisins and like small, slow release energy.
I'm sitting there with like a massive sandwich like this.
but that's sort of like, you know, again, we're not giving that advice, but you imagine that if you're sat down for 8 rounds of Magic, it's bears some comparison to a marathon in that you need energy, but it's not physical. You're not burning physical.
Yeah, you don't want to be taking like fucking carb loading gels for a Magic tournament.
Yeah. But you do.
You'll just get really fat.
Yeah,
working on it. Don't worry.
Is that why the Magic community is so low?
Why everyone just hooning down sugar-filled energy drinks? Yeah. But yeah, like I mean, you know, again, not medical advice, but in my early 20s, I used to mix pre-workout double doses with Monster Energy before going to the gym. That'd fucking make you feel alive. I'll tell you that. But the drop off is pretty
but you burnt bright and short there, right? Like you have like 2-hour workouts and then you're like clapped for the rest of the day.
I think the big thing, if you're gonna do it, again, not medical advice, consult your physician, but it's small doses, like every 3-4 hours is the way to consume caffeine in a Magic tournament scenario.
If I want a good night's sleep, I'll have a coffee before bed.
What the fuck?
But there's different types of people though, right? Like,
that is supposed to be a thing though.
Yeah.
If you apparently
have really good dreams. Is that what that's?
No, you like them wake up with a burst of energy.
Yeah, because if you I think caffeine's in the body for like 10 hours or something, right? I don't know. It's like 8 to 10 hours. So if you're sleeping for 7 hours, as long as you consume it and then get to sleep quickly, you then wake up
before it kicks in.
Yeah,
right.
You wake up energized.
20 minutes to kick in, though,
yeah.
So you don't have
There's not a big window
right.
to like.
That's
get
risky
down.
business. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
People installing espressos on their bedside tables.
But I'll tell you, like a lot of the, I won't name any names, but a lot of the more known Magic grinders. When I went to Naples, when I was again primarily, I don't really care about standard. Naples sounds good. Turned out it wasn't, but
that's because you didn't come to Pompeii, though.
Yeah, no, I know. I was playing the fucking LCQ and it was awful. And then where we were staying was awful. But whatever. Sitting in the premium area or whatever, because I was just editing. A lot of the known grinders were like between every round, 2 shots of espresso, please. 2 shots of espresso, please.
Damn,
like, just to keep it topped up. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys are familiar with a guy called Travis Wu. He used to play on like the Pro Tour and stuff. I think he came second one year for like best draft player on the Pro Tour, and he's a bit of a wacky guy. And he used to run a YouTube channel, and he used to do some quite interesting things to get him a competitive edge. So his first of all, he made a video where he was like, all the Magic players are on this drug, and I was like, oh shit, let's see this. And he was just talking about caffeine for ages.
Oh, okay. So that's I thought you were going to say Adderall for a minute there. I was like, yeah, they are.
So that obviously was where that came from. But the second one he used to do, which I think is wild, and I think we should all get in on this, is in between rounds, he would go upside down to get fresh blood going around his body. And I'm not even this guy literally came like second in the giraffe thing, but he was just a wacky guy, and I just thought that was very interesting. I was like, how many things are just going over my head?
Team Templar are going to be hanging upside down outside Birmingham's Egg Badgerton Stadium.
Some of his best results, Benton used to run around the venue like a nutcase, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like when he went on a tear in Naples, like between every round, he was like doing sprints and shit. Like,
are we just looking for false positives?
no, but I mean, like, I think keeping yourself active is a...
Oh, well,
like,
yeah.
And that's probably not going to be hard to be in like the top 10% of who's active at a Magic tournament, right? Everyone's just sitting there.
I do think general, the big, and I know it is like, how much of an edge is it going to give you? Is it Snake or whatever? But I don't believe it is if you get in good shape and you are fitter and healthier in general, I think you will probably perform better most of the time at anything you do. Like, this isn't like Magic. I think you will probably be better in your job, in your life. But you know what I mean? Because you are like, you're more... not feeling shit is a hell of a thing.
I think it's about stamina,
I mean?
right?
Yeah.
Like, it's about how long you can remain focused, and the dips, right? I do think that's the biggest issue with a Magic tournament, is that you will dip. How do you respond to that dip, right? That mental fatigue.
Just have like
what are you doing?
Bars.
So, well, I mean, like, it works for James, right? Like, James is semi-successful in Magic in tournaments. He just hams donuts, right? Like, he is like sugar. He's not caffeine.
But I
right?
think he keeps the sugar going. Honestly, like,
I agree. But
we were out for Ed's birthday when you were I can't remember what you weren't able to make it, but he basically had a dessert like an hour after food, and after that it was like you were talking to a shell of a man, like for probably 3 hours, right? Like he perked back up eventually, but it took a long time.
Yeah.
Like,
once those finals are over, you can crash as much as you want.
So yeah, but that's what I mean. I think that's the difference, right? Like, it's a really bad way to do it, but I think, to be fair, thinking about it, after Magic events, Gurney does crash pretty hard.
Oh, definitely.
So it
but
must
for
just
days as well, right? Like, he takes days off Magic.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have capacity for it. But like caffeine, sugar, they do similar things to you, right?
Yeah. Sugar's the one for me, for sure.
Like, I obviously have stopped drinking coffee and consuming caffeine. I've stopped. I don't really eat like fake sugars or fortified sugars. So I've moved to like natural sources of sugar to try and remain like with a competitive edge. It doesn't feel the same as drinking coffee. I miss drinking coffee. But, I haven't had any noticeable drop off. And so I don't crash as much, I'd say. Like, I don't get caffeine crashes like I used to. But I also
think there are
don't
days,
have the
though,
heady, sharp highs where I'm like, I'm wired.
Yeah, but specifically, genuinely, like, because we usually room when we go away to tournaments. Back when you drank coffee, it was usually like, even in the morning, you'd just be like, sit up, I'm ready, coffee, keep me going. Whereas I think now, since you've stopped drinking coffee, there are days in the morning where you are a bit like, ugh. And I think that's the other thing. Sleep then becomes an even more important factor, right? Yeah. Because if you've had lack of sleep, there's no cheat code. Like, fuck me, if I didn't drink caffeine when we went to Prague, I would have been fucked. Because, was it Prague? It was Prague.
Prague was the last one we went to, yeah.
Yeah, because that travel experience into the LCQ was fucking brutal.
Is that like a life hack for the day 2 tournaments? So, like, if you have caffeine and then you crash in the afternoon or in the evening, it's easier to get to sleep?
Maybe.
I think there's a big, again, not medical advice for me. This whole episode is you have to time when you wake up sleep-wise, don't you? Because you have like REM cycles, and if you wake up in the middle of deep
sweet
sleep,
sweet spots. Yeah.
Even if you've slept for 11 hours, you can feel worse than sleeping for 4 hours if you wake up at the wrong point in the cycle.
I think it's 6 hours is ideal.
That's literally what I was going to say. I think going to bed at like 12 and then waking up at 6 is like when I feel the sharpest. I just don't want to do it.
For me, it's 7 hours. 7 or like under 5, I think is.
But I think it's 6 or 7, but it's definitely not 6.5. Like 6.5 is a bad time to.
It's a trap.
Yeah. But there is definitely a graph. Maybe we'll put that on. Give the real Joe Rogan experience.
Well, I think everyone.
Jamie, pull that up.
I think everyone's different though. Like everyone's cycles are slightly off.
I think they're pretty like rigid.
Are they?
Yeah, I think the graph is like pretty straightforward, like straight cut. That this is when your body goes through those different cycles. But within the period, like the middle chunk, it's very like you're deep in sleep. But there is like points where everyone will be in like this is a good time to wake up.
Yeah,
you guys are super into the watches and that. Do you have it for like sleep and that? Does it tell you what to do?
There is one, and like that I've worn it like twice, but it's only to pick up disrupted sleep.
Oh, it doesn't be like this is your REM sleep.
No, so it's like you know.
It has your REM and deep sleep.
Oh, I didn't think it worked for mine, but yeah.
Yeah, I sleep with mine every night, not for that reason, just because I charge it when I'm in the shower. That's just my routine, and it's them full all the time. But I only wear mine to make sure I get up, like because of an alarm. But weirdly, I've managed to get my body clock pretty bang on lately, so I just wake up at like 6:15 every day without an alarm. I'll set if I set my alarm for 6:30, I'll just wake up before the alarm.
I never wake up on my alarm. I will wake up before. You have an alarm?
So I have an alarm about half an hour before I want to get up, 25 minutes before I want to get up, 20, and this goes all the way through to the next half an hour after I should have been up.
I fucking hate that. Like Jess will do that sometimes if she's got an important meeting or something, and it's so fucking annoying.
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
I think that is. However much you're sleeping is probably not the right amount, based on the need for that many alarms. I don't know. Do you need an alarm, or are you?
Yeah, I do have an alarm, but I'll often wake up before it, but then still won't get up until the alarm's gone off.
Yeah.
I'm very much as soon as I'm up, I'm just out of bed.
Oh yeah, I definitely annoy Amy because I'm awake. So here I go.
Yeah.
Breakfast, computer.
If Jess wants to lay in on a weekend or whatever, I'll just instantly get up and just go play TFT or something, or like go out, because I'm just like, I'm not gonna sit here and I don't know. It's all interesting conversations though. I do think there's no. Again, it's a bit of a divisive topic, and you're not like, you don't want to shit on people. But it does feel like a lot of the more consistent, successful players are in probably better shape than others. There's outliers, obviously, but it does feel like health is probably a big benefit to staying pretty fresh and focused.
But it's also what works for you, right? Routine-wise, like how do you break that cycle of fatigue and stay focused? You know, there's lots of successful Magic players, or in any industry, poker, you know, flesh and blood, who the top players are all doing different things, but they've found something that works for them to stay sharp, right? We mostly all talk about the same things, right? Like us and like more successful professional Magic players come to the same conclusions, but they can action things on the day that not all of us can, you know, make work, right? And it's how do you...
I'm not going to go for a toilet for a week before the next tournament.
But also, you need to, like, you know, it's getting reps, right, as well. Like, going to the RC 3 times.
We must say going to the bathroom.
No, I don't. Yeah, I'm really trying to avoid confirming Ed's technique, to be honest.
I think the genuine, like, now I've thought about it, the like, if you don't get time to go to the bathroom between rounds, and you can't have a piss, or like,
You've got to master that feeling.
Yeah, but it does. You do feel pretty fucking switched on the next
if
round.
If your opponent goes to the toilet and they go, sorry, I was just going to the toilet, you just be like, you know, you've got the competitive edge, right? You are weak.
Also, I feel like I would make hasty decisions if I needed to.
Yeah, you're trying to get the round over.
I'll be like, oh no, why did I do that?
This could win the game. Let's do it.
I trying to think back to, you know, like when I came second at the Mega Modern, and obviously you must like think back to when you won the Mega Modern and think, what did I do on that day? What was different?
Well, Michael got up early.
I got woken up at 5:30 and I ate ungodly amounts of food.
Yeah, so maybe that's what works for you. You know, I don't know. Is Dan going to the RC this weekend?
When you qualified for
to pay him,
when you qualified for Prague,
clock.
did you get up early? That would have been like a Langdon. Where was it? Was it Langdon?
Langdon, yeah.
So you would have got up early because you would have travelled with one of us, right?
I do think that unfortunately for me, I'm supposed to be getting up at like 6, and that's like the perfect time for my REM sleep. And I'm like, as soon as I wake up early, and especially if it's like something that startles me, like if I hear like Dan putting the kettle on, I'm like awake and I'm ready to go. Whereas
Do you
so
sleep
maybe
with,
you just need to be a little bit pissed off.
Fury that I felt when I got woken up at 5:30 or whatever it was from Dan. That's enough energy.
That's your like cooking with gas, right?
Do you guys sleep with the curtains open?
No,
I do. That's another thing that helps.
You just get like perverts.
You like getting woken up by the sun?
Yeah. No, like we have blinds and they're like angled so you can't see in at all, but it literally means the sun is directly going through the blinds into you. Yeah, that like since the clocks have changed, it's been. Like, I don't think I've woken up to an alarm. Before, sometimes I wouldn't get up. I'd get up like 10 minutes later because it's still dark outside. But
to like touch on that loosely, I believe that human beings should hibernate just over the winter. I think winter's a horrible month. I don't know why we all get up and do it. Like, I don't know why I'm driving. I don't know why anyone's going to work. I don't know why anyone's going to school. We should just be at home during the winter with the heating on, you know, pop out here and there. But what a stupid time period season. Fuck it, don't like it.
I feel that's more of a
Winter
country specific problem, right? Like you could just move. If I was a millionaire, I'd live in Barbados. Sure,
Thanks for that fucking highlight, Stephen.
There's probably other places where it's warm all year round, isn't there?
And
like,
cheap,
yeah. I'm sure you could think of a few.
Aren't they war-torn country?
But I don't know. I'm a big advocate for keeping the curtains open because I think, or like having some kind of a smart light system that will like turn on to wake you up. I think daylight and light helps.
Also, pets work for that as well.
Yeah.
Pets don't give a fuck. Whether you want to be awake or not.
Yeah, that is very true. But I do think a lot of people, again, this is my bias because it's how I like to live, so it's my opinion more than anything, but I think people value that post 10 p.m. more than they should. Because like anything you do in the evening, like whether you're finishing some work, sorting some cards, playing some games, you can just do it in the morning before you go to work or before whatever. As long as you're sleeping for the same amount of time, I think it's largely irrelevant when you're sleeping. So it's whatever gives you the best shot of the day, I guess. So I guess really for tournaments, it's not that getting up early actually helps because it's the same amount of sleep or whatever. It's probably that it's the extra hours before going in that have more of a factor. Having that time to like get
you
yourself.
wake up properly, don't you, and stuff.
But also get out of the like negative habits, right? Of like worrying about what deck you're playing. Like all of those things don't matter on the day. Like it's about performance. How am I going to perform on the day? Not the choices I've made. The choices don't matter as much, right? You've made those, but you can make the wrong decision. But again, performance I think is more important in Magic than maybe your choices, especially when you're working with a team and you've come to conclusions. Right? That's not going to be the factor. It's going to be, did you shit the bed? Did you make the wrong decision?
I think specifically that target hold.
That is a thing as well. When it's open deck list, I think some people can get mentally affected by like, oh, there's too many of this deck. It's going to be shit for me. But it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, you just have to make the best of what you've got. And even if you lose around, it doesn't necessarily mean your day's over.
I mean,
anyway.
How many tournaments, and I'll go on this seating lottery all the time, how many tournaments does the player like do like a recap? Oh, my Pro Tour recap. And they're like, I brought, I don't know, fucking Ponza, and I played 8 rounds of Amulet Titan. And you're like, fuck you. So, you know, you didn't like, we don't all get that, but that could be your day, right? There's times that you're going to just get the best matchup every single round. And then it's just about how well you perform, right? or there'll be one hinge round where you're like, this is like, I mean, when I came second at that Mega Modern, Ed was my hinge round, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I've played the best matchups. I had two like absolutely don't bring this deck to a tournament, like I played against Merfolk or something, and I was like, this is free. And then like round 5 or 6 I played Ed on Amulet Titan, and I was like, this is where it goes bad for me. This is where it downturns. And I got lucky, but also played really tight, and then that's it. Like, okay, I've got over that hurdle.
And then you feel like you're going to get there.
Yeah.
I think that was the same, to be fair, with the LCQs. I think that was similar for me, because I think it was round 1 and round 2, I had fairly bad matchups for Frog, I think, and it just lined up well, and then it was like, okay, cool, this is like, this is doable now. So there is that mental side. But I guess you don't want to be affected by that, because that is the... You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't let that get in your headspace. I guess it's a bit different with an LCQ because it's like losing out, but...
I think it's important for preparation and reflection, though, to be like, I may get a good seating lottery. I may get the matchups I want to get with the decision I made, but I also might not. And then on reflection, that didn't matter here or there. Like, just being aware of it helps not think about it during the tournament, right? Like, it not get in your head, right? You don't sit down and go, of course it's the shit match. I know
Mengu, obviously different game, different situation, but Mengu did a write-up of his recent Fab run, and he had a huge section of just like, if you lose the die roll, you haven't lost the game, shut up.
Yeah.
Because I think he had like 6 mirrors or something, and won like 10% of the die roll or whatever, but won all of them. Or it was something like that. Like, and it's kind of like, you can't be on an instant downturn because you're on the draw or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
I see people do that with mulligans as well. Like, as soon as they mulligan, even just once, they're just like, you can see it in their face. They're just like rattled. Whereas I think like
the amount of times I've been gassed that my opponent's mulligan to 4 and they've absolutely trounced me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh god. Yeah.
It's all interesting stuff to consider and try and put in place. But I think the ultimate takeaway is that probably everyone is a little bit different, and there isn't like one answer. You have to kind of take different bits from the
I think it's just trying things out, right? Try things out that people suggest. Some might work for you, some might not. But if you're not thinking about it, you're never going to get better. Right?
Just try things out. I mean, I know we're winding down. I was going to end the episode with it, but obviously you just got to make sure you don't shit from now until Thursday, right? And then just... Oh, imagine going in a plane as well, like backed up. Jesus Christ.
How does that work in a vacuum? Do you have an intestinal tear?
I can imagine you'd feel fucking rough. I
think this might be the reason I haven't done so well when we're going abroad.
Yeah, we've got the train twice, haven't we?
To be fair, I know people who won't shit outside of their own house. I always think that's so weird. It doesn't matter where I am. If I need to go, I'm going. It was difficult in Sicily because they don't have toilet seats, and I wasn't accustomed to squatting.
We're sitting on the bowl or something.
No, you get feet up on, and then you squat. So you get up on the rim, the ceramic rim, because there's no seat, and then you squat.
Oh.
Yeah, and an Italian man showed me. I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm English. And he's like, oh yeah.
Oh, I'd like to think he was just fucking with you. It's like he sits on
it worked, and to be honest, it was the cleanest like direction. I don't know, like if it straightened out my bowels, but it was like.
I mean, yeah. I think
there was a woof as it left, and then
I do think
it was clean.
That whole thing is proper unhealthy though. Like, because I know that it's a thing of people just like will go away for like a week and like, no, I'm not going to the bathroom.
Yeah,
a week.
Yeah.
So just
dialed in.
to kind of
they are not missing that flight home.
Summarize some of this. You're going to an RC on Thursday. Where are you going? What's the RC? What country?
Bologna.
Italy. Thank you. Yep.
Flying or train?
Flying.
Yep. Nice. Any going with anyone we know?
Just the other half. There's a bunch, obviously, like UK Magic players that'll be there. But I think most of the time it'll just be wake up, go to the Magic tournament, finish, go out for dinner, and then like basically only the day is going to be like Magic, and then everything else is just going to be
interesting dynamic
or whatever.
going with your partner, right? Like that's going to be different because maybe that like helps you, you know.
I think it was the best experience I've ever had when we went to Dark Sphere last, when I went away, because it was just easier.
Yeah, but you didn't do well at the tournament though.
No, but I had a good time.
I don't care about having a good time. Sure. I was getting, is it going to help Michael win the regional championship?
I'll report back.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, no, I actually, on that point, I think mentally for me, it probably doesn't help. Like, you have a better time, but you're less switched on because you're doing stuff outside of just the game, you know, the prep of it. And it breaks that routine a little. So, yeah, just ignore as much as you can.
If I can master caffeine, sugar, REM sleep, I think
Jan, your partner, she's on the holiday,
and severe constipation as well. That's a factor as well. But yeah, I guess we'll round it off there. Obviously, good luck to Mikey for the RC.
Pumping and dumping.
Yeah, lots of pumping up.
And if the viewers feel like you want to share any of your top tips, I'd love to hear, because these have been pretty wild, to be honest.
Yeah, to be fair, as much as the not shitting one is weird, I also think like fucking doing handstands to try and get a head rush is also.
I was imagining him hanging like a bat. Actually,
that's
what I had envisaged.
I feel that's a lot harder to do. Like, whether
someone reach out to Travis Wu and just like, can we get a diagram?
Yeah, what's the most optimal way?
Do we need to buy any apparatus?
Honestly, though, like I remember, like I'd try and catch up with like Benton between rounds in Naples, and he'd just be doing press ups, and I'm like, you're right.
Walk and talk.
Yeah. But I do think there is an element there. But anyway, hopefully you've taken something away from that. Again, not medical advice. And do let us know if you have any weird tips or tricks, and maybe Michael can throw them in at the last minute. But thank you very much for watching or listening to this episode. Thank you guys for coming on. And I'm sure we'll all, I don't know, Ed lives here now, so he'll be here next week.
Leave, so.
Yeah. He's caged. No bathroom.
You look comfy, unless you need a shit, obviously.
No,
that's not a problem, isn't it?
Well, thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.